The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Golden Boot. It's your boy, Pooh Bear. I got my man, Aunt Petty Murphy, in the building. What's good with you, my boy?
Man, chilling, watching this game. Well, watching Dallas defense.
Yeah, I was going to say, because if Dallas had the ball one time and probably up, 16?
Yep, 16.
Yeah, and offense only scored 3 points. So, but man, what a day. What a weekend. Some great college football. NFL is back. Let me ask the question before we really get started, man. Is this the we talked about, like, mental health and stuff. Is this a time of year where you feel like a little bit better about life? Let me ask that.
It's a random question.
I know. It's
not particularly, but it ain't got nothing to do with football. It's a personal,
okay. I understand.
This time of year. But to me, the best time, you straight. To me, the best time of year is the spring. Whenever you got like college baseball, college basketball.
You are more of a basketball.
Major league baseball starting up. The Masters, you know what I'm saying? You got like a culmination. NFL draft, basketball, NBA, in the middle of this thing. Yeah. So to me, that's kind of the best time of year.
Reason football, why I say that
this I think this weekend, well, last weekend really to start. I'm more of a college football than NFL person anyway.
Yeah.
So last weekend to me is the second best weekend. The best weekend is March Madness weekend, though.
Gotcha. I'm more of a football guy, and I'm like you. I first of all, I love college sports more than any, any professional sports league anyway. But it's something about like NFL season, like just the start of NFL season. I don't necessarily care about a particular team. I may only watch 2 or 3 teams that I actually keep up with. But the reason why I asked that, because like I'm not always necessarily feeling my best.
Coming in hot with it.
Ooh, Brother Williams came in hot with it.
You feel me?
But I don't necessarily feel my best, but like it's something about being able to, not necessarily worry about all the stresses of the world, and I can focus in on college or high school football, college football on Saturdays, and then NFL on Sunday. Whether I care about the team or not, it's a distraction, to get me going.
I will say, because it's really only like one game a week, you know what I mean? It's a little less chaotic to keep up with, you know what I'm saying? And it's a lot less stressful, because I ain't got no life, and I feel like I gotta watch everything in all my teams. I gotta watch all their games, keep up with everybody, you know what I'm saying? So like during basketball season, it get rough. But during football season, you just got Saturday and Sunday, really. High school Friday, but you really just Saturday and Sunday
And
It's the best way to
Monday.
relax.
I can't say that. And Monday.
Well, yeah, Monday, every now and then Monday.
But there is a part in the season where it starts when
every day of the week.
Every day of the week. Shout out to the MAC. You know what I'm saying? What they midweek
just
MAC.
The MAC now. Conference USA got games throughout the week on Thursdays and Tuesdays, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a couple conferences going to those midweek games.
Yeah. Perp, what's good? Perp say Monday night, Thursday night.
Yep.
So then, like you know what I'm saying, then you got two now. Like I said, it's a certain part of the year where you end up with a Tuesday night game, a Wednesday night game, a Thursday night game, Friday night game. So
see the thing about them NFL Thursday night and Monday night games, sometimes the matchups don't be worth watching. You know what I mean? So it ain't always a good matchup though. That's the only thing I don't like about them. Sometimes they pick them. Seem like they pick the worst matchup they can for Thursday night game.
Yeah.
Flag.
Well, shout out to the SWAC and the MEAC because they're gonna be putting on some Thursday night games too. That'll give us something to compete with some of them sorry NFL matchups that they have. So be looking forward to that. And I'm telling you what, October 19th. North Carolina Central, Morgan State is looking real interesting.
I hate that it's on a Thursday, dog.
I hate that it's on a Thursday as well. But that's gonna be a live show. That's definitely that might be a watch party show. We can talk, but we might have to, yeah. Oh man, I ain't even finna go there with you, Perk. Brother Williams asked a question. I you know what I'm saying, I would say this one for tomorrow, but I do want to go ahead and say I think he's safe for now. The seat
at
hot
least this year. I think at least this year. He good through at least this year, I think.
Yeah, that seat hot though.
Yeah, he gonna have to stand up.
He gonna be standing up. What'd you say? He gonna stand up? Yeah, he gonna be standing up for a while because that seat is hot. Do want to say, man, shout out to everybody in the chats. Chris Dukes came in. Josh,
what up, Josh?
Brother Williams, we just put Brother Williams up there. Nick, what's good, Nick? Perk.
Nick crazy.
David Irvin. So. Yeah, and everybody else who not because I realize not everybody be commenting, man. But
Chuck, what's good? Chuck?
Yep. But as always, man, want to say thank everybody for watching. Y'all, you know, saying you can be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. If you're enjoying the content, do us a favor. Subscribe, like, share, and super chat. It helps the show grow. We're going to the SWAC championship this year. We need y'all help. So, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and send in any dollar, in the arms of an angel.
Help feed
for $1 a show. You can help feed a Pooh Bear and an ant in Atlanta. Because I heard them Magic City wings like $1. Anyway, all right, man. Listen.
Boy, you crazy. I don't know what he's talking about because my wife is probably watching this. I don't know what he's talking about.
She can go to. I said the wings. Listen, them wings so good. Lou Williams left the bubble.
I know. Wings. Lemon pepper Lou.
You left it. If you leave a bubble for them. All right, man. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. He left the somebody else left the bubble for something else.
Yeah, I ain't about to say I ain't even finna go there. Shout out to our sponsor over at BetOnline.
BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home.
Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts.
Hey, we back. Man, let's go ahead and jump in this thing. Let's talk about this LSU Grambling matchup real quick. I do want to put this out there. It was a space this summer. Well, it wasn't even this summer.
Spaces.
It was a Twitter space about 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Twitter spaces.
Yeah. And I came in there and I said, hey, Grambling is going to be a challenge. LSU going to win the game. You know what I'm saying? They're going to win the game handily, but they're going to present a decent challenge. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was going to come more from Grambling's defense with the personnel they had. But after the Florida State game, I knew it was going to be a different challenge. I knew it was going to be Miles Crowley being able to throw on the secondary and get the secondary some work. I said it on Carter Show. I said, hey,
I said the same thing.
I said Miles Crowley is going to be able to, you know what I'm saying, give you some looks so, you know, you can work on your, you know what I'm saying, improvement in real game time live action without necessarily having to risk losing the game. It's going to be good for LSU. People almost laughed me out the space. People almost laughed me out. The Perk was in there. You know what Perp said?
What Perp said?
Perp said, "Oh man, get out of here!
Come on now,
Grambling, come on now." That's a good Perp. That's a good Perp expression. But it was other people. So I'm not gonna say just Perp because you know, and it's hard to believe that you know, some HBCU will present a challenge to some of these FBS programs. But we're going to get to it.
But I went on Blake's show on Thursday. AYS for y'all who don't know who Blake is. And I said the same thing. I thought that the score would be a little closer. I thought Graham would put up a few more points than they did. But I said that Graham was going to move the ball on LSU. I said that whenever you throw the ball as much as Grambling does, that you're going to move the ball and you're going to score points. I said that Miles Crowley is a good quarterback and Grambling has a good group of receivers and that their running back group was probably their deepest position group on the team. They just didn't give them much opportunity in week 1. And sure enough, we saw that. I mean, they got loaded running back room. We saw the talent that they got back there with Chalk and those guys. Even though Lyndon Rash didn't really do a whole lot, we saw what Winters and those guys and Dickerson had a big catch. You know what I mean? When we saw what they had at receiver, and Miles Crowley was dotting that thing everywhere. Somebody asked what we thought about Denver Harris.
Hold on, here you go.
I thought that touchdown pass that he gave up was probably the most perfect ball that you could throw in at that moment, man. And a great catch. I ain't even faulting him for giving that up, but Miles Crowley did his thing, and that receiver group did this thing. LSU settled down eventually, you know, but Grambling came out with a game plan, and they was executing. They was moving the ball, and you got good looks from a good offense, and early on in that game. I mean, you gave up some plays, you know, but you were able to work on man-to-man. You was able to work on your secondary, and you was able to get some guys like Denver Stamps and those other guys some reps.
Yeah, I saw our cousin out there, Jeremiah.
Yeah, I saw him making some plays out there on special teams.
And your favorite recruit that you pull, Toviano.
Yeah,
saw him out there.
I seen them young bulls out there. And shout out to and I also mentioned this. I also on Blake's show. I also mentioned wanting to see what the offensive line, particularly the right side, would look like going up against Sundiata. And bringing Hurd in, we saw some physicality on the offensive line that we didn't see before. We saw some athleticism getting to the second level, things of that nature. When you got Hurd and Emory Jones beside each other, that's a physical, athletic combination right there on the right side. And I think that's what we'll see moving forward. But going up against a good defensive end gave you the opportunity to see valuable reps of those two, at the new position, so to speak.
Yeah. Big Country, what's good? Taraj, Big Country Amos asks, hey fellas, what you think about Grambling's performance against LSU? I know BR was lit. I'll say this. I'm going to look more talk. I know we'll talk more about this tomorrow, but I think I was impressed with what they, how they perform. I think they perform exactly how saying what the script came out, exactly how I thought it would, play out. As far as LSU being in what seems to be a battle initially early on, but then will settle down and take things over. So I think, Grambling, it was 72 points. They have nothing to hang their head about.
Nah.
They were going against a team that wanted to work on some things, and two, I'm not gonna say more talented, but definitely more depth. And people gonna hear this and think, say, oh, you just, you caping for Grambling. Well, it's not so much that as much as I thought that they actually, Grambling performed well considering, the competition. So
yeah. Graham looked good offensively for sure. Defensively, I would have liked to see a little more here and there. But I mean,
hey, hats off to you, sir. Hats off to you.
But yeah, defensively, I would like to see them do a little more. They gave up some big plays downfield that they could have given, done without.
Right.
But I mean, overall, they played pretty well, especially in their first half. I mean, missed field goal really would have kind of changed how the game was going at that point. They was scoring on every drive up until that point.
Right.
I think that kind of took some wind out of their sails a little bit, but overall, offensively, a lot to come away excited for if you're Grambling. Miles Crowley, that receiving core, the offensive line played pretty well. I mean, offensively, there's a lot to look. Defensively, there's still a little ways to go, but you knew that coming after the Hampton game, you knew that there was defensively there was going to be some area and room for improvement. So I think Grambling has got to be feeling pretty confident about where they are.
Yeah, definitely. I think another thing that stood out, and it's a behind the scene thing, because I mentioned this on Carter's show. Tony Hull coming in, taking him, other play calling duties, and I thought that was going to be a big problem for LSU. He's got experience coaching at ULM and some other.
He was D1, at Kansas with Les Miles.
At Kansas, he's got a excellent resume. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, let's I'm trying to see what else. What up, Coach Green? Who was that? This old vet. What's good? I hadn't seen you in a minute. He said I ain't lying. I was deeply concerned for a good part of the first half.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I think when I checked,
I tried to tell people, man, that Grambling was gonna they was gonna move the ball and put up some points, man.
Yeah, it was 14-10 at like end of the first quarter.
Yeah, it should have been 21-13, but it ended up being 21-10 after Graham missed that field goal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about this. I know we weren't necessarily going this way, but Southern played Jackson State right across town at Mumford. And Coach Green said, what are some good things you saw from Southern? They showed up. They came to the game.
I mean, their defense played well.
I'm joking.
Their defense playing well.
No. They did. Yeah. Go ahead.
Nah, I'm about to say their defense played well. I think they just got tired. But man, they had moments on offense. I do think that there needs to be kind of his next question. Do y'all think Kendrick Grimes should start the next game? I don't know about. I mean, I think you need to go back and look at that quarterback. But we know how Dooley is with quarterbacks. You know what I mean? So I don't know what to expect there, but I think they got a.
Hold on, I'm gonna bring it up after you get to go ahead.
But I think they man, I don't know. They schedule. I know that both of these games was non-conferences, so it don't really hurt you. You got everything left in front of you, but they need to look in the mirror because they not playing the way we expected Southern to start the season.
All right, they are not looking like a defending West champion. Yeah,
facts.
All right. And so I'm gonna bring it's two things. Krim says let's not go overboard with the LSU win.
Not at all.
Not at all. But this is something that I think is a cause of concern for LSU fans. Now, if you're a Grambling fan, you definitely happy about this. Crawley never went down. Big ups to the O-line.
The offensive line played well.
Where is your pass rush? If you're LSU, you're supposed to. You got Mason Smith back.
Yeah, I want to know where guys like Quincy Wiggins are. I mean, we saw a little bit of Deshaun Womack later in the game. We saw Jackson Howard later in the game. Savion Jones was that. We seen Swinson, but I don't remember seeing Quincy Wiggins. I could be wrong, but I don't remember seeing him. But and I'm sure he was out there. I just don't remember seeing him make a play or anything. So I just wonder where your pass rush is at. Is that why you went and got guys like Swinson and I can't pronounce the boy name from Texas. I'm sorry.
Ogofu.
Yeah. Is that why you went and got them, because you're not confident in Quincy Wiggins and Savion? But it's not looking like you got much of a pass rush right there.
Yeah. Coach Green said number 2 Chance Williams for GSU is that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to say last year in the matchup with Southern,
it was Southern defense.
Southern's defense, yes, we saw. One thing I do want to point out is last year, again, kind of similarities. LSU brought in Big Emery on that O-line, and that's when he first got his work, and then he ended up starting the rest of the season, and the O-line jailed from there and got a lot better than what we saw in week 1. Now we see you bring in Zalance Hurd, and it might be a similar situation where you find a lineup that you probably should have started week 1 with. I understand the idea of not necessarily want to put a freshman in that position. But sometimes you gotta, let's take that risk. Because if it's working out, if he's going to be your starter the rest of the season, why not start with those growing pains? Let him get it out of the way. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So. And then you saw the same thing on the other side of the ball with Denver with Stamps. Yeah. Even with Weeks, you know what I mean? It's bringing in some of them younger guys, giving them valuable reps because they might be dependent on later on in the season.
All right.
Especially those guys in the secondary.
All right. Chuck said people are mad with Dooley in Baton Rouge.
Well, that's an understatement. Well, I seen somebody say, my homegirl who's a Southern fan, I seen her say, of course, you can't spell Dooley without the L. That boy can't beat Jackson State, man.
Yeah. Yeah, he has replaced Willie Simmons on that list. So
yeah,
self-inflicted. Let's move on, man. Let's talk about Tulane and Ole Miss.
Great game.
I told you Tulane is gonna be the best group of 5 team. I think they're the best group of 5 team.
When healthy, I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But if you don't have Pratt, they're a totally different team. They looked good yesterday, though. I just don't know how sustainable that is over the
Mhm.
course of the season without Pratt. I don't know how the severity of his injury, but they did
Yeah.
look good yesterday, though. And they probably the best Group of 5 team. I thought South Alabama would be better than they showed in
South
their
Alabama
first
be the best Group of 5 team starting next year.
game. I mean, they brought back like 16 starters,
Yeah.
so I
But yeah.
felt like South Alabama would have been better against Tulane than they showed me. They probably still, win the conference and things of that nature. But I just thought that
Right.
they would beat Tulane in their first game. But Tulane with Pratt, like Coach Green say, Tulane if they had Pratt might would have won that game. They
Yeah.
played a hell of a game yesterday, and they a little more loaded than I thought they were, even because they lost a lot, not just losing Spears, but off their defense as well. So I think you're right on that. Tulane probably the best Group of 5 in the country, and yesterday kind of probably cemented that for me.
Yeah, I thought I checked in. I actually picked them to win, and that was assuming Pratt was going to play.
Yeah,
Um, I didn't realize how big of a saying that injury was that he got saying at the end of the South Alabama game.
yeah.
But I don't know if they'll face another team like Ole Miss the rest of the
Oh
year.
no, oh no.
So I think they can. I think they can hold up. Me personally, I hate that they lost because the game was still close to the very end and it just got silly. So
Yeah, if they would have won,
mhm.
I think they would have had a chance to make the playoff like Cincinnati.
You absolutely right. But I do, man. So
Because I mean, look at that conference. I
yeah,
mean,
well, the heavy hitters are gone for
you
the most
still got
part.
Memphis. You got Memphis. That's the only really, you know what I'm saying.
Memphis, where's Houston now? Is Houston in the Big
Houston
12?
left. Houston left.
Yeah,
So you got
so
Memphis, SMU, um,
and they
Tulsa,
out the door next week.
UAB, UTSA. You know what I mean? You got a few teams that might could, but they would be favored against all those teams. So
Yeah,
if they would have won against Ole Miss last year, you were the highest
beat
ranked
Kansas State.
G5. So well, last year, not just that, but I'm saying you finished the season the highest rated G5, and you
Mhm.
won the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
Then you followed it up this year with an undefeated season.
Oh
You would have
yeah,
been, you
yeah.
would have
I
been.
get
You
what
see
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying?
I get what you're saying.
You would have been a contender for the playoff, especially beating another Power Five ranked team this year. And Ole Miss is projected to be ranked at the end of the season. So I mean, they probably ain't gonna make the playoff, but I still think they can get another New Year's Six bowl.
All right, let me ask this. This is a hypothetical, and this is something I just thought of. So just off of kind of what you were talking about. 2005. Let's go back. 2005. We're gonna mix a little bit. 2005. 2004, 2005. Well, I say no. Actually, I'm sorry. 2005, 2006, 2007, around that range. Um, all the way up until 2011. At that, Boise State, Chris Peterson's
Mm-hmm.
Boise State.
Mm-hmm.
Um, could they have made it in the playoffs?
They would have had. All right, so we talk about this on Fox show all the time on 97.7.
Mm-hmm.
The recipe for a G5 to make the playoffs is back to back undefeated seasons, pretty much, or
Mm-hmm.
like Tulane last year have like one
Mm-hmm.
loss and
Mm-hmm.
win and go to a New Year's Six bowl game and win the
Mm-hmm.
bowl game,
Gotcha.
followed by an undefeated season
Mm-hmm.
with a win over a P5 school. in that undefeated season. So
Okay,
I don't
hold
know.
on, hold
I
on,
don't
because
know if Boise. I don't know if Boise
they
has
got that.
P5 wins.
Oh,
I know they got the
oh,
Oregon win. They got the
oh.
Oregon win. But do
Okay,
they have? Was it in the undefeated season?
yeah, they went undefeated. If I'm not mistaken, they went undefeated that season. The season prior to that was they had the one loss. It was undefeated Boise versus undefeated Louisville. Petrino. It was like Louisville's last year, or not they last year. It was right before they went
So
to the
that
ACC.
the year before they had one loss, and then the
Mm-hmm.
year they beat Oregon when LeGarrette Blount punched them,
Mm-hmm.
they were undefeated that year.
If I'm double checking now. So no, that was I got the wrong year. That was 2005. Let's do 2006. So because I know they were like under Jared Zabransky, they were some
Yeah.
dogs. They was some with Peterson, Crispy. Yeah, 13-0. So they had here we go. So in 2006, they beat Sacramento State. Doesn't count, doesn't matter. They beat Oregon State 42-14.
So they got a P5 win, and they
A
went
huge
undefeated.
P5 win. Wyoming, Hawaii, they beat Utah 36-3. I don't think
Utah was a
Utah
P5
won
then.
Pac-12 then. They beat
Nah.
La Tech. They beat
They
Mexico
beat their
State.
that's our conference games.
Yeah, all their conference. I'm trying to see what else they got. And then that's
So
when they beat Oklahoma in the bowl game
okay. So
in
like Tulane,
2006.
and then they follow that up with an undefeated season the next year.
Let me see if I'm not mistaken, because I think that was the year they played TCU, which TCU was still a, you know, what I'm saying,
Yeah, that TCU ain't gonna count.
Yeah, so but they beat. Hold on. Let me see. See, 2007. What were they looking like? 2007. They failed. They was 10-3. I'm trying to see who they lose. They lost to Washington, but they beat
That's what I'm
everybody.
saying.
And then
You gotta follow it up. You gotta have 2 good years if you a G5. And that's what they probably did somewhere in there, but I don't know if they had like a 1 loss followed by undefeated. It was probably like a 2 loss undefeated, 1 loss, 2 loss. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, because I remember, and I said they were, and the reason I said that, like up until like 2011, that was the year they opened against Georgia in Georgia and beat Georgia handedly.
yeah.
In the dome. So 2008 they had a 1-loss season. They lost to Nevada, if I'm not mistaken. No,
That's
they beat
Colin
Nevada.
Kaepernick.
They lost to TCU by 1
Okay.
point.
Is that the
16-17.
TCU went? Is that the TCU felt like they should have made the BCS?
Let's see. Let me see what if I click on TCU.
Man, we finna go down a rabbit hole, bro.
Yeah, we is. It was. I mean, it's. I just wonder if like Boise could have made. I think so. I don't think it's no secret. There were several teams that were scared of Boise, and this is a good segue. There were a lot of teams that were scared of Boise to play Boise back then. Like and when I say scared to play Boise, meaning Boise was reaching out, hey, let's play, you know what I'm saying, let's set some up, neutral site, home and home. We don't care, we'll play anybody. That's the kind of energy they was on. And several schools told them no. One of those schools who told them no was Alabama, a Nick Saban Alabama team at that. So
it made no sense for Nick Saban to play him.
I mean, yeah, when you can play cupcakes,
that's what I'm saying. Like all he could do is
when you can play cupcakes that don't bite back, you know.
All he could do is lose to him. If he beat him, he's supposed to. If he lose, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I get what you're saying, but we want to see it as fans. But Saban ain't finna risk getting beat.
Well, he risked it last night. Let's talk about it. Bama, Texas. Bama versus Texas.
Hey, let me ask you this: why is Quinn Ewers not being talked about as far as top quarterbacks in the country? Like you hear Caleb, Drake, Bo Nix, Penix, Jaden. You know what I'm saying? Like for Heisman and all that. Like I ain't really hear
you know
Quinn
why?
Ewers' name.
Because I think Texas hype machine is not behind Quinn Ewers. It's behind Arch Manning.
But I don't care what the Texas hype machine about. What's the national media looking at?
Just looking at
You
those
see what I'm
other,
saying?
you know,
Like,
those other guys. I mean, there's no excuse why they shouldn't be talking about them.
man, that dude was dropping dimes yesterday, my boy.
Yeah,
that throw to Xavier Worthy, bro. It's gonna be hard to beat that throw this year, dog.
So, funny story. For the season, hit up a friend, was like, "Hey, want to place a bet on the LSU Bama game?" That's how confident I was. Want to place a bet on the LSU Bama game? They said, "Give me 3 weeks." You know, they said, "Let me see the first 3 games." I ain't no fool. We played Florida State. After the Florida State game, say, "You sure you want to make this bet?" I'm like, "Yeah, y'all." I said, "Y'all quarterback ain't that good. Y'all didn't improve in the O-line, and y'all ain't got no weapons." They said, "Our quarterback not that good." I said, "Yeah, he's not good." I said, "He can't throw." And he said, they sent me a clip of him throwing a pass against Middle Tennessee. I said, "Bless your heart." It was the end of the first quarter last night. I got a message said, "Hey, you right."
Yeah. I mean, my only thing when it comes to Milroe is he's got to be the starter because their offensive line.
He's a year away, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that too. I'm just saying, like this year, he's
and I understand.
The reason you starting him has got to be because your offensive line that bad. Because if somebody else was back there yesterday, they would have got sacked about 7 times.
If Buckner is back there, and I don't,
He's finna get murdered. I don't know what Ty Simpson would have looked like. I don't know what his mobility looked like. But the boy from Notre Dame would have got hit.
Yeah. Taraj says that Bama versus Texas was a thriller. I think Texas talent is ready for the SEC next year. What are your thoughts?
I think so. I think because of Sark.
I think they can be competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't finna say they're finna win it, but
definitely not. They'll be better than Texas A&M
for sure because they got a better coach, in my opinion. Sark, man, Sark is that dude. When it comes to play calling, I put him up there with anybody, bro.
I'm trying to figure out which one can actually develop players because that's the A&M's issue. They don't develop. I can in Jimbo's tenure. Name a player that he recruit. Name a player he recruited that he recruited that got drafted or went to the NFL. That especially all those 5 stars and those top talents that they, saying that we battle them over, that ends up going to Texas A&M.
I can't really think of that. I seen a tweet yesterday that said the reason why Alabama and some of these schools aren't really that Clemson aren't really that good is because Texas A&M got 12 defensive linemen that are generational, but they just don't know how to use them all.
That's very fair.
But
very fair, very accurate.
I think
they can pay. That's good for them.
I don't really think it's fair to judge Sark his Texas tenure based off how many players he's put in the league because he just got there really.
Oh no. I'm not basing Sark off of that. No.
But I think going forward, going forward with Sark, I mean he's Bijan already. I mean,
Bijan Robinson, yeah.
But then he finna have Xavier, he finna have Quinn, he finna have a couple of them offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Like he finna be putting guys in the league. I don't know about A&M. A&M might put guys in the league just because they racked up so many 5-star guys.
Yeah,
but
we got 8. I mean, 8 like
I don't know where they're gonna be in the drafted at. Yeah, but where was he
drafted? Christian Kirk. But
where is he drafted though?
That's another good point. I just don't see the development.
Like Kellen Mond was a 4-year starter.
Kellen Mond wasn't even his pick. Kellen Mond was a Kevin Sumlin guy.
Yeah, I know, but at the same time, he was under Jimbo for how long?
2 years.
And a 4-year starter at that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I get it. I
speaking of
just,
Texas A&M,
yeah,
Miami put them paws on them boys.
yes, sir, they did. I don't know if I was happy about that or not.
I was excited. I don't that Twitter Miami beef. I ain't never been in it. I don't really care about it. It don't really bother me. It's 318 dudes who play for Miami. Shout out to AJ Allen and the Jedias Rashard. You heard me? Like,
Mhm.
I don't care about that Miami thing. Miami being good means Florida ain't gonna be that good because we know Florida State been
That's
rolling.
true.
So if both of them two get good, that means Florida not gonna be good.
What
I'm
up,
cool
Doc?
with that.
Yeah.
I can't stand Texas A&M. I hope they lose
I
every
I,
game.
I don't like Texas A&M, but see, my thing is, it was a win-win for me when Texas A&M wins and Miami lose, because Texas A&M gonna suck the rest of the season anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but
And
Miami being good don't hurt us.
no, I don't. I'm just
I mean, look,
excited.
if Miami good and Florida State beat them, that helps us. You see what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true. You're absolutely
so
right.
like, I
You're
ain't really
absolutely
got
right.
no problem with Miami winning.
You're absolutely right. Thanks for being a level head there. Trying to think what else, man, about that Texas A&M game. It was a shootout.
It was,
It was a
but
shootout at the end.
it don't look like Petrino and Jimbo got their play call thing figured out like we thought they wouldn't have figured out.
You know something?
I hope they don't figure it out.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a lot of second half adjustments this season. Oh, you know what? Matter of fact, before I even go there, because we just talked about that. LSU, Florida State, Bama, Texas, Florida, Utah, Texas A&M, Miami. The SEC ain't been looking too good in non-conference play, my boy.
They 1-4. They won't win. It's Tennessee over Virginia.
Nope. They 2-4 then. Oh, yeah, 2-4. Mississippi
Ooh.
State over Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mississippi State. Comeback win. End up winning overtime. So yeah. Yeah, it's not looking too good.
Did you count
And
South Carolina, North Carolina?
Oh yeah, I didn't have that. That's what. No, I
So
didn't
2
count
and
that
5.
one. What about Ole Miss Tulane? Do we count that one?
No, they're not a Power 5.
Gotcha. So, but yeah, it's not looking too good.
Yeah,
But and they was messing with me at practice like all last week. The kids, because went to work. Went to practice Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And I was messing with them, say, "Hey, y'all gonna run extra laps until I stop." So I forget about the game. They was laughing and stuff, and it was like LSU sucks. LSU, all of them Alabama fans. LSU sucks. And when the coaches for another team was like, he said somebody. Dylan said something about LSU the best team, and he said they 0-1. I said, well, if we can play cupcakes, what I'm saying, we'll be undefeated too. He said, it don't matter. We play who on our schedule. We gonna make sure we get the wins. Okay. I see you tomorrow. Coach. Can't wait. Hey, that coaches group on Group Me, real quiet. It's a coach on our team, a Texas fan too. Hey, they was real quiet. Talking about you can get a mouse piss on cotton.
He should be lit. I would be.
He is. He is. You can hear. Listen, it's so quiet in there. In that group, I'm gonna ask him. I'm like, who died? Y'all okay? Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Man, this
that should have
game
been the name of this episode. Thoughts and prayers. So,
that's the name of this Dallas Cowboys Giants game right now. Thoughts and prayers. This game getting ugly. Yeah. Past the sticks already.
Man. Hey, I got another game that I thought was gonna be really good. It probably was pretty good, but I'm kind of disappointed in one of the teams.
Who that?
Oregon versus Texas Tech.
Oh, Texas Tech. Yeah.
I'm disappointed in Texas Tech. They lost week 1 to I forgot who it
Wyoming.
was. There you go. They lost week 1 to Wyoming. I expected them necessarily to lose week 2, but they 0-2.
They gave them hell.
I thought Texas Tech was and they still can. I got Texas Tech winning the Big 12.
Oh boy, that's I don't know about that one. I thought they would be Texas this year. I thought they would be Texas this year, but it ain't looking too hot.
What up, Pressure? Pressure's at the game with his son. Yeah, he had his 225 shirt on. Golden Boot 225 shirt.
That's the game I want to talk about.
I forgot about that one. Let's talk about that one too. But yeah, this Oregon State. I mean, not Oregon State. Oregon, Texas Tech. Did you learn anything about either one of them teams as far as like?
No, it went how I expected it to go. Close game, but Oregon pulled it out to win.
Was Bo Nix transferring to Oregon a lifesaver for his career?
Oh yeah, for sure. Kind of like the other Oregon team, and they transfer quarterback.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about them real quick, Nick, before we get to this Wisconsin.
All right,
Wisconsin game. Oregon State. I forgot who they played last night. It was a Rudy Poo. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Disrespectful to the team, but it was a group of 5 team, smaller school. The difference here is DJ Ukulele has been balling.
That's so disrespectful, dog.
That was DJ Ugly than yeah, him too. But he been balling out. Him going to him going to Oregon State was I don't know what because I think it was coming down to UCLA, Oregon State.
Mm-hmm.
He looked good. He looks good. Pause.
Yeah, I mean they played UC Davis, so competition level ain't really where it needed to be,
right?
But yeah, I think it's safe to say that he wasn't the problem in Clemson, based off their week 1 performance versus Duke. But I'm kind of glad that he went somewhere where he could showcase his skill set because the kid got talent, man. I seen him when he was at St. John Bosco. The kid was as a sophomore. I mean,
right?
He a big body kid with a big strong arm. I think he went somewhere where he could really be himself and kind of showcase who he really is.
Yeah, man, he's been tearing it up, man. I saw that week 1 game and comparing him to Caleb Williams, and Oregon State compared to USC against the same team. I think it was San Jose State.
Yeah.
Oregon State gonna be a problem out there in that pack. Pack it in.
Yeah, they got a good run. They got a good running game too.
Pressure ass. What if he went to Texas A&M? He would have been richer. Yeah, he would have been richer, but he wouldn't have. I don't think he. Yeah, they're not gonna do anything with him. He wasn't going. He's not going to for Jimbo to be the quote unquote quarterback whisperer. I don't see it. DJ Coker. I'm not DJ Coker. What's the dude? Jacob Coker was at Florida State. He got better when he went to Alabama for that 1 year. Jameis Winston was I give more credit to Damian Craig than I do Jimbo. Not necessarily because he talked about it. He said, thank you, saying Coach Craig. Even when they won the championship and they beat Auburn, he said, where's Coach Craig? He just said, where's Coach Craig? Where's Coach Craig? He was like, giving credit to Damian Craig. I'm trying to think who else quarterback wise he had. That's them on too. Francois got injured. I mean, but
yeah,
went to Hampton and did all right. So I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think DJ would have did anything there. But we can move on, man. We can move on. Wisconsin, Washington.
Washington State, yeah.
I'm sorry,
Ward.
Washington State, yeah.
That was a great game. Washington State, Cam Ward, man, that dude legit. But Wisconsin offense kind of surprised me. Like I said, they were going more spread. And they actually put up some points, bro. You wouldn't expect that from a Wisconsin team. But they put up 22 points, which ain't a lot, but you know what I mean? The way they did it, I guess, was kind of surprising. But Cam Ward, man, that dude special, bro. He was the leading rusher and passer for Washington State.
Wow. Cam Ward, where did he come from? Was it
He came from
Incarnate Word?
Incarnate Word,
yeah. Yeah, he came from Incarnate Word. Lindsey Scott replaced him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Man, I do want to talk. Go ahead.
I was gonna say they 2-0. That Pac-12 loaded. Yeah. And after the game, the Washington State coach was like, or it might have been Oregon. I think it was Washington State coach after they beat Wisconsin. He said we deserve to be in the Power 5 conference.
I agree. I understand what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? Hey, one of y'all like that, pick us up.
Ain't nobody else out there. They gonna have to make a power conference.
Oh shoot. Any other notable games? All the notable games I got is gonna be we're gonna talk about tomorrow. Coach Green said Morgan State.
Got to be
that hurt my feelings. Morgan State almost should have beaten Akron, and I didn't realize one of the touchdowns that Akron got was well, actually two of them. One were on the defensive side.
I know that last one was
they got a pick six early in the game.
They took a touchdown away from them too, though, in the back of the end zone that they called incomplete pass. That was clearly a touchdown.
Yeah. So
that Auburn Cal game last night was a good one, though.
Yeah. And let me ask you.
As far I guess I say it was a good one because
it was close. I know it was ended up being 14-10.
It was drama, I guess. Drama,
right.
Yeah.
Let me ask this, because Stock and the Dumbest Podcast was talking about it. Those Pac-12 after dark games, it was saying that like they don't get the I mean, they don't get the
because everybody. All right, so all of the media people are on the East Coast. They're not staying up till 1 and 2 in the morning watching Pac-12 after dark. You know what I'm saying? So if it don't happen before like midnight Eastern time, it's over with. They're not finna, you know what I mean? You got to about 10 o'clock and that's a wrap. That's the other game I was gonna talk about.
Okay, there we go. I'm glad. I knew it was one.
Colorado,
DeAndre
Nebraska.
Atkins says, "What do you think about the think of the Colorado start?" So I think I think we did mention last week about no, we didn't. We didn't talk about it. We didn't do a show.
When we talked about it, we must have talked about it on HBCU hour.
We must have. Colorado has surprised. I think has surprised everybody. I don't necessarily think people didn't think they could be competitive. I personally didn't. I didn't think they was going to beat TCU. But now, you know what I'm saying, them beating Nebraska, I kind of saw that happening. But they look good. The way they're playing looks good. I do think I still think it's a lot of overreaction on um on both sides, as far as saying, like, saying Colorado's really good, or saying the teams that they played are really bad. I don't think that's the case. Um I think it's I'm not going that far. Pressure says I said they would win 6 games, but it might be more. No, I don't think so.
I said they would win 4 to 5 games,
I
and
said 3 or 4.
I think it'll be more than 4 or 5. I think they get 6, and I think they get bowl eligible.
That'll be a big
But
win. I still don't think they
that's a
get.
huge win.
Yeah.
My thing was I wasn't doubting Dion. I wasn't doubting how good Shador was. I wasn't doubting how good Travis was or nothing like that. My thing was
D1 talent.
I was questioning how you can flip the roster that way.
Bingo.
And you know what I'm saying, be that good that soon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought it would take a year or so for him to really be at that level, but he did it faster than I thought. Kudos to him. You know what I'm saying? He was right. I was wrong, but I just didn't think it would I wasn't doubting him. I just was doubting that it would be year 1 with that much turnover on the roster.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. They have Oregon and USC, then Arizona State, which Arizona's back all 3 back to back. Arizona State is probably easier of those 3 teams, but they're no way a pushover right now.
Yeah.
Arizona State is look good as well. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all shakes out, so we can, move on. I hate all the hype behind it, as far as,
It's gonna
like,
be, man,
it's
gonna be a couple years. It's gonna be a couple years, bro. You might as well. As long as Travis there, and as long as Shador there, it's a wrap, bro.
They had 800 media credentials. They gave out 800 media credentials.
I mean, that is a rivalry game. That is a rivalry game, but still, that's way too many.
They also they are the College Game Day is going there next week
for Colorado State.
They should have waited to the Oregon game or the USC game.
You want to know why?
Why?
That's Fox.
But they've done it before.
I mean, yeah, but them games gonna be on Fox.
They've done it before. The Red River Shootout is always on Fox, and they have gone there several years and done the College Game Day.
That's true.
So, Krim says, I think they beat either Oregon or USC, not both. At least one of them, though.
I gotta see a better running game from Colorado before I think they could beat some of these teams. I don't know if you can drive Shador back that many times.
He gonna try to throw the ball. Shador is taking a lot of sacks too.
Paul. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're gonna have to get him some running game help, bro. You can't keep dropping them back like that.
They got a really good back in Wilkerson.
I mean, the freshman it ain't bad neither.
Yeah, hello. But what they gonna do? I'm telling you, he is not going to. No, I ain't gonna say that.
It ain't Dion. It's the offensive coordinator. I mean,
who ultimately calls the plays?
Yeah. The offensive coordinator. Look at what he did at Kent State, bro. He did the same thing at Kent State. He threw the ball around at Kent State. He didn't run the ball really at Kent State.
If they are loading the box, I ain't say loading the box. If they are dropping 9, you know what I'm saying, 9 in coverage,
run the ball.
As a head coach, if you're a head coach, do you not say, hey, we need to be running the ball, call running plays?
Not every head coach is gonna do that. Is my offense working? I mean, they not losing.
I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it ain't.
I understand what you're saying.
Working, right? So it ain't no need for him to say run the ball if what they calling working. I'm just saying going forward, they're gonna need to be able to run the ball, and I haven't seen it yet.
I
don't
still
know if
say
I don't know if they will run the ball though, because that's not how they. You know what I'm saying? That ain't their MO.
again, if you're the head coach, it ultimately comes down to he may not call the play, but he can say, "Hey, give me a run play, get me 4 yards. Hey, I need a run play
I
for
mean, yeah, he could
this."
do that. Yeah, he could do that. But at the end of the day, he ain't going over there saying run the ball right now, run the ball this play, run the ball this play. In certain situations, he will, but he not finna do that the whole way down the field.
I get that, I get that, but at a point when they're dropping 8 and 9 in coverage, and you're steady throwing the ball, granted, hey, it's working sometimes. It's working here. It's working. All I'm saying is,
I don't see Deion being that dude though. Honestly, I don't see Deion being that dude.
if his son was the running back and not the quarterback,
I'm not finna play that hypothetical with you, man.
do you not think that plays a part in it?
It might. I mean, I'm sure that does to some extent, but if his son the running back and they got 10 people in the box, he not finna say run
They
the
gonna say,
ball. No, Deion trying to win, bro. And the reason why he ain't is successful right now. It's working.
okay.
Now if they go out there and they start dropping 9 in coverage and they can't complete a pass and they still not trying to run, that might be a different story. But what they're doing is working.
All right. I'm not buying it, but all right.
He said USC don't run the ball. USC run the ball with Caleb. All them scramblers and that boy be doing. Yep. That's enough running for them.
All right, man. Let's move on. Let's talk some NFL real quick, man. Saints
ugly
opened
win
up against the Titans. Ugly win.
Very ugly win.
I'll
take it though.
Did you see anything as far as like, saying, oh, it's some promise here? Or did it feel like was that last year? That was last year, the opening game against
Atlanta,
where they ended up pulling off the win, but it was like, we got, saying it's gonna be a struggle for the year.
I mean,
boy, Zay, get out here. I'm not even
part of my concerns. I don't know if it could be fixed because I don't know if you got the players to fix it. Like, you got another left tackle? Because that boy was a turnstile.
They got one on the practice squad.
He ain't no left tackle. He a left guard.
He's played all positions.
Yeah, I'm talking about at the NFL level though. He's a left guard. They might need him though. They might need to slide James Hurst back out to left tackle and plug somebody else in a left guard. But I don't know, bro. They that left tackle spot, I'm concerned about that. The running game, I'm concerned about that. But I know Alvin Kamara coming back, so we'll reserve judgment till he gets back. That was a terrible interception thrown by Derek Carr. You can't have plays like that in the red zone, especially. But I mean, ultimately, defense looked great, getting turnovers, picks. Well, we really didn't see much of last year. Kicking game looked good. Special teams looked good. I'm cool with the win. It was just an ugly win. I think that part of that is not playing your starters, but like one drive during the preseason.
Okay. I'm gonna move on to another game. I don't know if you watched it. Bengals Browns.
I did not, and I'm glad I didn't.
Listen, I watched it. I listened to it. It was terrible.
Long day at the office for them boys, huh?
Terrible. They were talking about it prior to the game. The last 4 games against against the Browns, the Bengals had lost. They were like 1-3, but it wasn't Joe's fault. said Joe, one game he let the offense down. He put up like 30 points. Problem is, defense gave up 35. Another game he threw for like 300, 400 yards. They lost. It was like 20. They lost it was like 24-12, something like that. Said it was always, since something. Today, offense couldn't move the ball at all. They were at the, I think, end of the first half. They were like 1 of 8 on third down.
That's terrible. And they got 3 points the whole game. I mean, yeah, that's not a team that Super Bowl contending look. That's not a Super Bowl contending team looks like. You know what I mean? But it's a long season. It's a long season.
It must be a Ohio thing because LeBron. They seem to always lose the first game of the season and then find a way into the playoffs.
Yeah,
and try to make a run. So I don't know.
Cleveland might just be his kryptonite, or the Cincinnati's kryptonite. You know what I mean? They might just have their number, but I'm not gonna hold too much into it. But it's just crazy to see them only put up 3 points. I mean, that ain't really what you was expecting from that offense.
Yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way, like a Deshaun Watson masseuse. I've been saving that one all day. But nah, Deshaun Watson looked he looked.
Well, I couldn't get to that disclaimer quick enough.
Hey, listen, I've been like he looked good today. The Schwartz got that, like, Cleveland's defense. They look real good. They're gonna be a problem in the NFC North. But they've been finishing last most years. Chubb had a decent game as well.
Yeah.
So, Cincinnati's defense didn't look bad. They were on the field all day. Yeah, they were on the field all day, but they didn't look bad. So,
Big Country said they need to start playing the starters more in the preseason. Reps are what they need to knock the rust off.
Yeah,
I think you can say the same about Joe Burrow not playing in the preseason.
Well, he had that calf injury.
I know, but I know why he didn't play. But I'm saying the fact he didn't play is kind of the reason why he looked the way he looked. Same with the Saints. I mean, it's a couple teams with that offense came out looking rusty.
That would have been nasty. So the Browns should have got Hopkins.
Yeah, I don't even think they tried to go after him.
No. So, another big game that actually I was kind of surprised. It actually became real competitive for a minute. Panthers versus the Falcons. That game was real competitive.
Yeah, I saw the Falcons won. I ain't see much about the game, but
it's 2014. Bijan Robinson had a pretty good day. Yeah, I know. I do want to say, Matt Ryan started his
boy, that was hilarious.
Started his media days, and they messed around and said the score is what? I think it was like 10-10. I forgot which game. Score is 10-10. Score is 10-10. It could easily be 28-3. And he just immediately looked. Like, I know he was like, you mother. That's so dirty, man. That is so dirty. Of all things.
That was hilarious, boy. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of this though, do you see that game?
No.
Boy, Tua went ham.
Wow.
Tua threw for 446, I think. Something like that.
So I did see here Tyreek Hill said he wants to Tyreek Hill said he wants 2,000 yards receiving this year.
Man, he went off too.
Yeah, he had 212, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, it went off. I think Tua had 400.
That could have about 4 or 5 touchdowns if his wide receivers could catch.
His defense gonna have about 4 or 5 touchdowns.
I know. I need Dak to throw an interception too. Oh,
Tua
they just
had 466,
golly, that's
3
good.
touchdowns.
If he can stay healthy, he might have a real
Man,
good. He could easily get comeback player of the year.
so we talking about no, he's not getting comeback player of the year. That's a wrap.
I thought about I said, yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah, that's a wrap. Yeah,
Lamar
that man
Hamlin is
died on
probably
the field. Yeah, that
yeah.
man died on the field. You might as well put his name on the trophy right now. But
Speaking of that, Emmanuel Acho, terrible joke. Terrible joke. Did you see it when he
nah,
said so Emmanuel Acho, somebody posted something about DeMar Hamlin, and he said, well, he said, I'll take DeMar Hamlin over anybody. He said death is already 0-1 against him.
that's crazy.
Terrible joke. I mean, I get it. Good premise. First ball is
That's
0-2, but that's terrible. Terrible joke. Terrible. It is. I mean, dude, he died twice
Yeah, I
on the
know,
field.
I know.
But it's
I know.
terrible. What would make you just sit there and say, hey, and then he it's on Twitter. So you typed
Yeah,
it
he
up,
typed it. Yeah,
you
and
looked
press
at
send.
it, and you press send. My God. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what I was about to say, but yeah, that was. Oh, I know what I was about to say. Shanahan and his coaching tree. We talked about Sean McVay coaching tree, but if Shanahan, when he got Robert Salah, who is the Jets head coach,
Yeah,
and Mike McDaniel, who is the who the Dolphins coach, and D'Amico Ryans, who the Texans head coach. When we gonna start talking about them as you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like we
It
talked
is
about Sean
starting. Yeah.
McVay. Hey Zach, did you see what this dude talking about? Was Zach talking
No,
about?
I didn't.
All right, so it was a running back for Kentucky. He was like, he had just scored a touchdown, whatever. They showed him on the bench, and he was like, 9 months ago when he was in the transfer portal, everybody wanted him. 11 years ago when he was in foster care, nobody wanted him. But now he's found football, he's found love, he's found, like, bro, what?
Bro, that's about as bad as was it Jeffrey Simmons when he got drafted? He was like first round draft pick, and they showed the fight he had when he was like, it's like his sisters were fighting and he jumped in. And why are we showing world star moments
That's crazy,
on
man.
why are we
That man said when he was living in foster care, nobody want, like, dude, what does that have to do with him playing football?
people need, I just don't get people at times, man. But yeah, that was terrible. I wanted to bring this up for a specific reason because it's going to lead into something. Cardinals versus Commanders.
Who won that game?
Commanders won.
Okay, I know it was close whenever last I looked
Yeah,
at
it was
it.
close. It was I think it was 2016 when
Yeah,
it
they was losing last time I saw it.
Kyler Murray didn't play. Josh Dobbs actually had a pretty good game. Sam Howell, former North Carolina guy, he reminds me, he's like a looks wise, a mix between, I was gonna say, like Drake May and Sam Hartwell. It's like those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying, they it's combination or something. But Sam Howell had a pretty decent game. Not a whole bunch of yards, but I mean, it was 200 and some 80 yards, I think. So
Let me ask you this: did you watch the Chiefs Thursday?
Yes, Chiefs Lions. It's a reason why I want to bring this one up too.
That's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah.
Who did the Chiefs miss more, Kelsey or Bieniemy?
Mm. I'll say this. The Chiefs have had games without Kelsey before and have still been able to move the ball and everything. I mean, you can't account for Kadarius Toney drops.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? You can't account for that. But what I will say is they've been able to scheme around, you know what I'm saying, different players and Chiefs didn't, they just looked out of sync. And I'm wondering, listen, if the Chiefs offense takes a step or two back and the Commanders, you know what I'm saying, offense starts to, you know, take off, there's a couple of people I'm gonna call that because they had a whole lot to say about being the man. Oh, he's not this, and Shady McCoy, you won.
Yeah,
Talked all that trash.
I'm interested to see what the Commanders look like, and I know they didn't have Kelsey, so that's why I don't want to put too much on the Chiefs' performance.
Right.
But whenever they get fully healthy, and if they look like they look Thursday night, fully healthy, then we're gonna have to change that conversation on the enemy.
Oh yeah, big time. Because like I said, the enemy is if the Commanders are potent, so.
Yeah, the Commanders could be because they got two great receivers, McLaurin and Dotson. If Sam Howell could be anything with that running game they got with Brian Robinson, they got talent right there. But Zay say that the Chiefs could go get a rookie. The Chiefs got a rookie that was a dog. Oh, he talking about Rashee Rice. But I think the Chiefs, if they were smart, would go get Mike Evans.
Ooh. I like it. So let me ask this. Any other notable games in the NFL or you know saying that stood out to you or worth talking about?
The Raiders beat the Broncos.
Yeah, shout out to Sean Payton on his first loss.
Do you know what makes this more interesting?
Jimmy Garoppolo. But go ahead.
No. How bad did they lose? They lost by 1, correct?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, it was a close game.
The Saints won by 1, correct?
Oh, yeah. They did.
The Saints traded a kicker to the Broncos, and that kicker missed the field goal and the extra point. The Saints kicker went 3 for 3 and made his I just thought that was poetic, man. I'm sorry. I just thought that was poetic.
Yeah. Vikings lost to Tampa Bay. But I do want to say this. Baker Mayfield look good. I do want to say this. I like Minnesota's offense with Addison as a compliment to Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
It's about to open some things up. It's about to open some things. Bro. Yeah. It's really about to open some things up. Because you can't key in on Jefferson.
Yeah. He ain't he better than Allen Thielen in the sense of he can run more routes and he can line up more places. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Green Bay looked
shocked. Bro. I thought they would struggle. Jordan Love is who they said he was in 2019. Remember when all the hype they put on Jordan Love coming into the LSU game?
Yeah.
And he looked like
he was good the year before with 2018. He was cold in 2018.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, he was
Cream said the Steelers got smashed. Yes, they did.
Boy, did they?
Yes.
At one point in the second quarter, they had -3 yards for the game. Like -1 yard passing, -2 yards rushing. It was something like that. Like it was.
Is Tomlin on the decline? Is he on the way?
Nah, man. He'll still find some way to go 8-9 or 9-8, something like that.
Yeah. So trying to think.
I mean, the Patriots game.
Oh, that was Patriots Philly. Man. Somebody was go ahead.
Oh, that was Pressure who said that about Booty.
Oh yeah, about the 1 foot catch. Yeah, it's a I guess you could say adjustment. It wasn't even that, man. I expected the Patriots to get mollywopped. I expected the 49er Pittsburgh game. I thought that's what the Patriots Philly game would look like. Just simply because, like, Philly coming off the Super Bowl and stuff.
Super Bowl hangover, man.
I feel like they got better, especially defensively, and at least I felt like they did.
That's interesting. They lost a lot defensively.
Yeah,
including their D coordinator.
Oh yeah, they did lose the D coordinator. I forgot about that part. But I just thought they would be, improved. But
they brought a lot of guys back, and they drafted some young guys, like the guys from Georgia. But they lost Chauncey Gardner. They lost some guys in their secondary, and the Patriots got Bill O'Brien back, which is why I thought it would be a decent game. I thought it'd be a decent game. I didn't think that the Patriots would win, but I didn't think that it was going to be like the Steelers game. Even though I didn't think that Steelers game was going to end up like that. I thought the Steelers would fight a little bit.
I thought Mac Jones did look good.
He did, considering, his weapons.
Consider how he started, how he looked good.
Just that. Just considering Juju Smith-Schuster, his number one receiver.
That boy TikTok away from.
He got him and Kendrick Bourne and Kayshawn Booth. Like, he ain't really got no true number one.
And then he got
they could go get Mike Evans.
Yeah.
But that ain't no Belichick type thing to do, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, he went and got Randy Moss, so why not?
That's true. He had Antonio Brown too.
That's true. But that was Brady, really. But I just think they need a true number one receiver over there, man. And like, they not a bad team. They just don't really they got a good running game with Stevenson and Zeke. They just ain't really got no.
So
they just ain't really got no receivers.
Yeah, they're gonna be all right though. But I think the Patriots. I was impressed today.
They will trade him Traquan Smith for some.
Man, trade him for some money or some
anything. I said for
a draft pick, and then
I said we'll trade Traquan for something, anything,
and then bring up. Bring up Shaq. Yeah. Hey, that's true. They had Chad Johnson and they had T.O.
I forgot. Man, they done had some receivers up there, man.
Yeah. I'm on one. Say salute to the panel in the chat. Hey, appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you, man. Appreciate
you. But yeah, man, I'm definitely I'm impressed. I never.
You impressed by the Cowboys?
I don't know if I'm more impressed by the Cowboys or if I'm more depressed about the Giants, because that's just terrible. I listen.
Not you, but I done heard plenty of people talk about, like, they got lucky last year to make the playoffs. Like, literally, they was one of the last teams in the playoffs.
Who are you talking about?
The Giants.
Giants. Oh yeah.
And so then on top of that, they beat a Minnesota team that went like 12-0 in one-score games, which is fluky. You know what I mean? Like, they were a fluky team that beat a fluky team in the playoff. Like, it's Daniel Jones.
Let me make sure. Pressure to say about that T.O., but I'm pretty sure he was.
I know Chad was, but I didn't know T.O. was. I know T.O. played for the Bills.
No, I'm sorry. It was the Bengals where they played together. My bad. 2010 with the Bengals. My bad. Because I knew they played together. I thought, and it was his last stop. So yeah.
Yep.
Last NFL stop, shall I say. She played some Canadian football as well. Yeah, so.
But it was a good weekend of football, man.
It was.
Tomorrow should be a good one, too.
Yeah.
You don't
Bills,
believe
Jets.
in the Jets?
Aaron Rodgers is good. He is good. I think he's getting too much hype. Call me a hater.
He ain't got to do a lot, though. It's almost on some Tom Brady to Tampa's. He got a defense over there, got receivers, got a running game. He don't got an offensive line, though. That he don't got.
Yeah. Man, I do want to finish off before we get the altar call. Shout out to Coco Gauff winning the US Open. I did see like a video of like 2012. I don't know if you saw that 2012 when she was a little girl dancing and watching the US Open. I also saw a flashback of when she played Naomi Osaka, and Naomi was kind of talking to her and stuff. And then to kind of come full circle, Naomi was in the crowd watching her and cheering her on and stuff. So, you know what I'm saying? Big ups to Coco, man, for that. That's amazing, man. Especially being in a sport where country club sport, where we know, you know what I'm saying, you're not expected to participate. Pressure said you drink Hypnotic.
No, that's not Hypnotic. That's Bel Air Blue.
I got a Hypnotic story, but I probably don't need to tell them on here.
Nah, let's not do that.
But yeah, man. Anything else before we get hit the altar calls?
Man, what happened with that UFC fight last night?
Oh my goodness! You know what? Let's talk about that real quick. Where we at? 128. UFC fight.
I didn't watch it, so I don't know. I just somebody text me about it.
It was like this. Izzy, he said finally. Hold up. Xavier said Izzy finally got exposed. He been exposed.
Pierre exposed him.
Yeah, not just that. When he went up his first loss, UFC loss, he tried to go up and be a two-time champion and got exposed then. But everybody said he was done. You know what I'm saying? Tarai said he was done. It should have been a first round KO. Yeah, almost was. Blue said Strickland laid hands on Izzy. I think Izzy overlooked him. I agree.
See, I seen Nick Thomas post on Facebook that said a different ref would have been stopped this. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Is it done?" But my thing is, you got to know Nick and how Nick over exaggerate things.
Nick might not be overreacting. I thought I
was like, maybe he over exaggerating and it ain't as bad as he, you know what I'm saying, making it seem.
Yeah. No, he got rocked, right? And when he got rocked, I mean, he got hit and he dropped, and Strickland jumped on him. And I'm talking about Strickland threw 27 punches in 3 seconds. Like he was
straight mixing
going.
on.
Man, I'm talking about he was the only thing saved him. And Izzy was like, he was, you know what I'm saying, he was taking them licks, but he was like trying to move his head dodge. Yeah. So he was like, he's still defending. So I can understand why they didn't stop it. But at a certain point, he would have been, you know what I'm saying, should have been. And then he was still getting significant strikes. Izzy they were like 2 apart. It was like 89 to 87 at one point. But all Strickland's were headshots.
I got you.
Yeah, so yeah.
Man, that dude Blue funny, man.
Oh wow. Wow. Yeah, so Strickland had the audacity to bully Izzy, then tell women to stay in the kitchen in his press conference. UFC has lost control. Yeah.
UFC has lost control, bro.
Yeah. They are something. They are something.
Dana White probably loving it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang, so Izzy lost his belt.
He lost the belt. It was because we was trying to figure out. I was watching it with Blake and Zach. And we're trying to figure out, was it because we were saying to lose the belt as a champion, a lot of times you got to get knocked out or you got to get completely dominated.
Yeah.
He got dominated the first round, and the rest of the fight, the rounds were kind of close.
Somebody told me he lost every round.
He did. The scorecard said he lost every round. I think one of them was a 10-8. So yeah. I think somebody had him at a 10-8 in one of their prep cards. So it was just like, but they were close though. It was close enough to, it was close enough to where if they had said Izzy won, I think people would be like, I think it was Strickland, but they wouldn't have, said much. But definitely, what I'm saying, he deserved it. So definitely deserved it. But yep. Ooh.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. So it was yeah. But Izzy was he gets ahead of himself. That's just like he dropped the N-word like 30 times against this after he won his last fight, because some South African dude, I guess he said he's a real African fighter.
Yeah.
But he's a white South African dude.
Mm-hmm.
So
I remember I think that fight.
Yeah, that was kind of, I was like, ooh, yeah. That should have been an altar call. Anyway.
When Kamaru Usman gonna fight again?
Don't know. It don't matter. He fought Leon Edwards and lost on decision.
I mean, I know he probably not gonna get his belt back. I'm just saying, I ain't heard nothing about the guy.
I don't know. I gotta check the UFC roster to see the next big. I know the John Jones Stipe fight isn't until like November. So
yeah.
So let's see what else we got. Fight schedule wise.
Why you looking that up? Zay said before y'all go, with the way Prime turned Colorado around so fast, do y'all think other colleges are going to start to chase high-profile NFL coaches? NFL players, my bad. No. There's only one Deion Sanders.
You should y'all seen what happened with Bethune.
There's only one Deion Sanders, man. You might see them go at the former NFL coaches, like we seen with Hugh, Herm Edwards, and Harbaugh and people like that. But
I can't. I probably shouldn't say this.
I don't know.
I probably shouldn't say this. But I'm gonna say it anyway.
Hold on. Go ahead.
It ain't bad. It ain't that bad. Oh, you just getting ready just in case.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else going after Hugh Jackson.
I mean, wasn't nobody else going after Herm Edwards either.
You're right. I'm just saying, but I understand what you're saying, but ain't nobody else going after Hugh Jackson. So,
I mean, I ain't saying nobody finna go get him from Grambling. I'm just saying you're gonna see more colleges going after former NFL coaches than you were going after former NFL players. That's all. I'm not saying nobody finna try to come get Hugh from Graham. That ain't what I meant. I'm just saying examples of former NFL coaches who went down to that rank.
Remind me. Question for tomorrow too, to tell you.
All right. I'm scared. All right.
Nah, it ain't a bad one. It ain't a bad one. It's actually a pretty good one. All right, here we go. All right, man. You want to go first? You want me to go first? I can go first. I go first. I don't went. You done went first the last two of them. Let me go. All right. Hey, so for this segment of the altar call, I want to talk about, and I want to bring forth gymnasts, Olympic gymnasts. So it's been a trend. We've seen a lot more Olympic gymnasts that are actually going back to college, that are actually competing in college and also competing at the Olympic trials and stuff like that. One reason why, and it has NIL. They were talking about it on one of the latest meets, world championships, of how NIL has changed the game. When they allowed NIL, it allowed for gymnasts to start going to college and start actually competing at an older age, because it meant that they could, since still compete in college, they can still make money to support their training and stuff. So I always keep beating this drum for NIL because we always hear all the bad stories. But here you go, another one. Now you can get sponsorships. Now you can train at a school, get your education, and still be able to compete in the Olympics. It's a win-win. So kudos to those young ladies who are like Jordan Childs. There's several women from Florida, UCLA, LSU that are doing just that, getting that education and competing for our country. So shout out to them.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Love to see that. It's always good anytime that you can get a bag, but also do what you love to do at the same time. But for my altar call, I want to call out Mike Vrabel, Tennessee Titans head coach. Pooh, run that film for me when you get a chance. But for y'all who don't know, Steve Gleason and was the honorary captain for the Saints today, and for the Tennessee Titans, former linebacker Tim Shaw was their team captain. This idea was brought up by Mike Vrabel. Both men are suffering from ALS, so he wanted them to get recognized and honored at the game today. Which kudos to him for thinking about those men and putting the spotlight on those guys. And good to see Gleason back in the dome again. And of course, the Saints had to block a punt with Gleason in the dome. It was only fitting. But it was a good gesture by Mike Vrabel to include those guys in the game and make them honorary captains and kind of shine a light on what they're going through and kind of raise more awareness for ALS. So kudos to you, Vrabel. Glad to see Gleason in the dome. I'm glad the Saints got that dub for him. Who that?
All right, man. As we get ready to wrap this thing up, I don't say that often. My bad. Hey, what else we got, man, before we get up out of here, man?
Bro. You stupid, man.
Oh, man. My bad, y'all.
Oh, man, this dude crazy, bro. I ain't got nothing else to say after that, man. I'm done, bro.
All right, man. We'll be back on Wednesday. Preview this Mississippi State matchup.
Oh, man.
We'll be back tomorrow, man. Hey, tune in tomorrow as we talk about this weekend in HBCU football. It was a wild weekend. It was a
good
wild
weekend.
Great weekend. But yeah, man. We'll be back and like that. Yeah. This show is presented by betonline.ag. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitter at Golden Boot. On Instagram at Golden Boot. On YouTube at The Golden Boot Pod. On Facebook at The Golden Boot Pod.